would be nice if there was a one-size-fits-all path to success, wouldn't it? An individual's blueprint for success is as unique as their fingerprints are. I'm Gary Cornwell, president of Galactic Performance Solutions. As someone who didn't come from much, I had to come a long way to get where I am today. In the end, I did find my way, and I want to help you find yours too. I may not have the exact answers for your circumstance and how to build a successful life, but what I know for sure is that you have those answers within yourself. Welcome to Beyond the Blueprint, the podcast that focuses on helping you become the best, brightest, and most financially secure version of yourself. Hello, and welcome to Beyond the Blueprint. I'm really glad you guys joined today. Last time, we talked about how I know that you're going to succeed. And one of the signs we touched on was staying grounded even when things go wrong, because things will go wrong. Well, today, we're diving into the heart of that. But first, let's talk about our homework. I made my bed this morning. Did you? Secondly, what are the 3 things that you're doing today that your future self will thank you for? Did you think about those things? Did you write them down? I hope so. Are you surrounding yourself with the right people? Are you continuing to learn every day? Are you refusing to give up? So my 3 things are those last 3 things that I talked about. I try to surround myself with the right people. I try to continue to learn every single day, and I refuse to give up, even when things go wrong. Adversity isn't the opposite of success. It's actually part of the path, you guys. It should be expected. Without adversity, you won't be able to see the good things that happen and you won't be able to grow. Adversity, even though it's something we don't want to deal with, is actually a vital part of improving and of growing and of getting better in every way in our lives. But how you respond to that adversity, well, that makes all the difference. This episode is not about pretending that things are going to be easy. It's about becoming stronger because you weren't and they weren't. Sometimes giving up seems like it would feel like some sense of peace maybe. Well, that's a facade. It isn't a peace that will last, even if it does end up feeling like peace if you decide to give up. It's also a decision that will haunt you. You need to keep going. Keep going. Most people give up a step or 2 before they're about to succeed at the highest level. We've mentioned that before in previous episodes. The difference between those that succeed to the level they want to and those who don't, a lot of times comes down to one decision about when to give up and when to push forward. Listen to me when I say this. One of you that's listening right now needs to hear this at this moment. If you're walking through something hard right now, hear this. You're not broken. You're being built. Every challenge is shaping the kind of leader, friend, partner, and person that you were meant to become. Embrace it. As hard as that is, embrace it. So what is adversity? What is it? Well, there's a myth that we often see adversity as a failure. And maybe it's that we view it as we did something wrong or that we deserve for this thing to happen. That couldn't be farther from the truth. Adversity sometimes is a test. It's a furnace, a forge, and it only shows up for people who are capable of more than just being comfortable. Think about an athlete. The soreness after a workout isn't failure, it's growth. It's a physical reminder of their growth, actually. The same applies here. Your resistance is building your resilience. Remember that. I can't personally think of a single meaningful win in my life that didn't come with some kind of struggle. The struggle is the price of entry, let's say. One of my favorite things to tell people is that the road to anything worth having is usually very rocky. Right now is actually a good time for me to talk about adversity. There's some adversity going on within my company right now that we're all experiencing, and I couldn't be more proud of my team and the way that they're handling it. So again, this is going to make us better at the end of the day. It's going to take the whole team to do that. And what I have to focus on right now, because like I said, I'm kind of right in the middle of it as we tape this episode. So anytime there's adversity, I try to let the process occur naturally. My first thing that I allow myself to do is feel it, because adversity doesn't feel good. I am convinced that a lot of times true growth comes from an adverse situation or an issue that pops up that you have to work your way through. I truly believe that, but it doesn't feel good. So the first step for me is to let myself feel it. Give myself a little time to, if you want to be mad, if you want to be depressed, whatever that feeling brings in you. And a lot of times it'll bring many different types of feelings, but allow yourself to feel it, because that feeling may help you try to avoid it in the future, but it also is acknowledging the fact that it's there, and it's acknowledging the fact that you're human. Give yourself a little grace. Let yourself feel it, but don't let yourself dwell on it. Second step is don't lose your head. It's very, very important that you maintain your calm and your composure. Don't lose your head when the adversity is happening. Those who can keep their head when those around them are losing it is the one who will win the battle at the end of the day. You got to remain focused. And focus actually probably should be heightened over times when there's not something, some kind of adversity that's facing you. So maintain your focus. Again, these are things that I do. When I give myself permission to feel it, for example, I put a timeline on it. You can feel it for this amount of time, and then we're going to shift to focus on how to fix it. You've got to make the hard decisions. And that's what we're doing right now. We're making the hard decisions on which way to move forward, what buttons to press, what levers to turn. We've got to make those hard decisions, stay focused, and then you have to do it. You have to get whatever done that it's going to take to overcome the adversity. And know that there is a beginning and a middle and an end to everything. And the adversity will not last forever. You are going to figure out a way to get past it, whatever that is. And that doesn't necessarily mean that that particular problem gets solved with no repercussions. Sometimes there are, but you're going to be all right at the end of the day. As long as you focus on it and you do what needs to be done to get past it, things are going to be fine. Once things are back to normal, or you've gotten past whatever it is that popped up, you have to embrace the learning opportunity of what you just went through, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's a learning opportunity to make you better at the end of the day. So learn from it and put things into action that are either going to keep it from happening again, or at least mitigate it to the best of your ability. And if you can't mitigate it, have a plan for how you're going to get through it easier the next time. Adversity is always there. How you deal with it is going to be the measure of your success and how you're going to move forward. So let's talk about how people who overcome adversity think differently and how they act differently. Well, those who overcome adversity expect hard lessons and they expect hard seasons, but they don't expect them to stay there. Winter is real, but so is spring. Nothing lasts forever, not even the hard things. This too shall pass. Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, I mentioned in a previous episode, this too shall pass. Don't let yourself focus so much on how hard it is or how much you don't want to do it. Expect that these things are going to occur from time to time, but don't expect them to last forever. Those that overcome adversity don't let feelings dictate their actions. I mentioned earlier that for me personally, I let myself feel whatever it is that I need to when adversity first starts. But I try very, very hard not to let my feelings dictate what the actions are going to be, because that many times feelings will lead you in the wrong direction. You need to go with your knowledge, your education. You need to go with the logical path, not the path that you feel. You can feel discouraged and still move forward. You can feel afraid and still take the next step. I can almost guarantee you're going to be afraid. I can guarantee you that you're going to have to take the next step. Those who overcome adversity find meaning in the pain. They ask themselves, what is this teaching me? They don't ask, why is this happening to me? I'm going to break something to you guys. None of us is special. You're not special. Neither am I. We don't deserve anything. We get what we earn. We get what we work for. So to sit back and say, why is this happening to me? Oh, poor me. It's not just you. The same thing has happened to somebody else. You're also not unique. Neither am I. In most ways, anyway. Where you are unique is that you're focused on getting past what other people let stumble them and make them fall. So find meaning in the pain and figure out what good is going to come from it. Those who overcome adversity lean into their support system. Adversity can feel like it's isolating you, but growth requires connection. Reach out. Let people help you. Whether that's people on your team, whether that's friends that may have been through something similar in the past. It could be a coworker. It could be somebody who is in a similar industry, maybe even a different industry. Reach out to other people. Don't let yourself become a hermit, because if you do, that's only going to make it harder for you. Let people help. Those who overcome adversity, they take the next right step even when the full path is not clear. So let me try not to butcher this saying. Don't let perfect get in the way of pretty good. You may not know what the whole solution is. You might not have time to sit back and wait till the whole solution's written down or in place. You may be forced to react. In some cases, many cases, you will. So take that next step, even if you don't know what the step after that is. It's a good idea if you know the next 2 or 3, if you can do that. You don't want to have a knee-jerk reaction and do something that's going to make the situation worse, especially if it's something that's complicated or that requires multiple steps. It's very unlikely that you're going to have it all into place before you take the first step. It might be, let's get through this and let's get stable, and then let's figure out what the next steps to put into place that will truly enhance whatever it was that you just went through. And at the end of the day, make your company better, make you better, the situation better. Many times there are waves in addition to steps. So you don't have to know how it ends. You just have to move forward with what you do know. The way it ends is that you move past it. In one way, shape, or form, you move past it and you move forward. And many times you take a step up. That adversity, whatever it was, whether it's you can't get a loan that you need, whether it's that there's a physical issue within your business or something that you're trying to do, all those things can be corrected with time. It may not be in the time frame that you want it to be, but it will be corrected when it's right. And you'll move past it. And many times, like I said, you'll take a step up and you'll be better off because of it. I choose to believe, and sometimes it's hard because when you let yourself feel it, it's hard to let yourself believe or know that you're going to be better off at the end of the day because of this, especially when you're in the beginning of the fight, so to speak, and your feelings are running rampant, whether you're, like I said, whether you're mad or you're sad or you're depressed or whatever it is, or a combination of all, whatever it is that you're feeling at that time, sometimes doesn't let you know that at the end of the day, it will end up being a gift and a blessing. And it may not feel like that for a while, but sooner or later, all adversity leads to the possibility of building something better and more bright. And if you choose to focus on that and not focus on the negative sides of it, you'll come out way ahead in the end. So what is adversity not? We talked about what adversity is. What isn't adversity? Adversity isn't proof that you're not cut out for this. It's not a cosmic sign to give up. It's not a lesson to you that you're not good enough. That is not what it is. If it was, none of us would be good enough. None of us would ever get anywhere because adversity strikes everybody. Ask yourself, do you know anybody, even somebody who is like, seems like every time they touch something, it turns to gold. They've got the Midas touch. I promise you, they experience adversity. Try to think of somebody that you know that doesn't. Everybody does. Maybe not all the time, and maybe you feel like you experience more than the next person. Maybe that means you've got more to learn. But that's okay, as long as you continue to learn. So in no way, shape, or form is any source of adversity proof that you are not good enough. If you're still standing, even if you're limping a little, you haven't lost. You're still in it. You're still in the fight. And that means that there's still time to grow, pivot, and ultimately win. And as I mentioned in a previous episode, winning is not a destination. It's a temporary situation that leads you to the next opportunity to win. Don't think that this is we're trying to reach the finish line. The finish line always keeps moving, but that's okay. It's not that it moves in a bad way. Success doesn't last forever. Failure doesn't last forever. This too shall pass, whichever one of those things we're talking about. Rock bottom becomes a very solid foundation on which I can rebuild my life. That's a quote by J.K. Rowling's. And I think it's pretty accurate for a lot of us. Even if we're not hitting rock bottom, sometimes it feels like it. Sometimes we're not the best judge of how much a problem is going to escalate. How big is the problem really at the end of the day? Sometimes we're not the best judge because we're the ones that are in the middle of that fight at any given time. But even if it does feel like rock bottom, or maybe you have hit rock bottom, or maybe you're going to hit rock bottom soon, that is where the foundation is. And you can't build anything meaningful without a solid and rock solid foundation. So some advice that I would give my younger self, if I could talk to the younger version of me, specifically about adversity, the very first thing I would tell myself is the pain won't last, but the lessons will. Whether that lesson is that you just don't want to let that happen again, or the lesson could be that adversity wasn't as bad as I thought it was, and it's leading me to something even better. But either way, you will learn a lesson every time it happens. So the pain won't last, but embrace the lessons so that the lessons will. The people who walk with you through the valley, they're the ones who belong with you when you're on the mountaintop. I mentioned earlier that the team members at Galactic, I couldn't be more proud of them. Everybody has stepped up. This was not something that was a company killer or anything like that, but it was definitely something that was going to take all hands on deck. And I saw things and I've known them all for years, obviously, but I saw things in so many of them that not only made me grateful, but made me proud. I mean, I've got a team, you guys. That is a lesson that I'll take out of this adversity, is that having the best team you can have around you is your biggest insurance against an adverse situation being something that is detrimental. When you've got the right team and they've got the right focus and they've got the right mindset and the right drive, motivation, you've got everything. So the people who walk with you in the valley, they're the ones who deserve to be at the mountaintop with you. This team they deserve my gratitude and they deserve my loyalty because they've shown those same things to me. I'd also tell myself that sometimes the worst seasons produce the best versions of us. You can't possibly be the best version of you if you've never fought through anything, if you've never dealt with anything. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm not talking about these things. Adversity doesn't have to be something dramatic. If you're a college student, it could be you've got a test coming up that you don't feel prepared for. If you're new in your career, it could be that you're having a difficult time navigating the politics within the organization that you're working for now. If you're older, it could be that you're feeling tired and you feel like you can't do as much because mentally you get exhausted faster. All of those things are adversity. It doesn't have to be something dramatic, but all of those things need to be addressed. And you will address them. And at the end of the day, you'll be better because of it. Also, I would tell myself to remember this. You're allowed to rest. It's okay to rest. You should rest. You're not allowed to quit. Nothing is over until you quit. Could be a pause, could be an ongoing situation. It could last longer than you want it to, that you're comfortable with. But as long as you're still fighting and as long as you have not quit, everything's good. So take a rest, whatever that rest needs to look like. Don't ever quit. And even when you fall down, the real win is getting back up one more time than you fall. Again, ties back into a previous episode. Most people give up one decision too early. If they just stuck it out, they would have seen heights that they never dreamed of. So that's what winning is. You're going to fall down. You're going to get knocked down. You're going to lose a football game. You're going to have a bad game. How are you possibly going to enjoy the great games where you played well and the team played well, played together, and you won? It won't feel nearly as sweet if you haven't felt the times when you fell down, where you got bruised, where it hurt. As long as you keep getting back up, you just have to get back up one more time. Then you fall down, and you're the winner. So if you're walking through the fire right now, you're not alone. You're not weak. You're not lost. You're learning how strong you really are. This is, at the end of the day, it's very possibly something that will teach you something about yourself that you didn't know. That's another way of winning, by the way. You don't really know who you are until you've been battle tested. You don't know if you're going to be the kind of person that runs away from the gunfire or runs away from the tough situation. Are you going to be the kind of person that runs towards it? Until you've been tested, you will never know. So even though adversity doesn't feel good, and I could tell you from personal experience, it does not feel good, it is something that we all need. So let's talk about what you can think about before our next episode. This is kind of your homework. What's one adversity you've overcome in the past that made you stronger? It could be anything. It could be that you had an issue with the way you ate. It could be that you have a really hard time getting up in the morning, or you have a hard time going to bed at night and turning your brain off so that you can sleep. It could be that you were working towards a degree that wasn't really something that you were either ready for at the time, or maybe you figured out that it was something that you didn't like. Or maybe you were in a position with an organization that just didn't really fit you well. What did you do about it, and how did you overcome it? If you can tell me, if we were talking in person, that you've never had to overcome adversity, I'm going to think something poor about your character, because everybody has had to do it. I don't care if it's in a relationship. I don't care if it's in school. I don't care if it's in work. I don't care if it's in the way you invest. I don't care what it is. You have experienced adversity. You have overcome adversity in your life, or you wouldn't be sitting there right now or walking or doing whatever you're doing while you're listening to this. So what's one time where you overcame some adversity and you feel like it made you stronger? So write that down, then write down what it taught you. Then look at that and think about the challenges or the challenge that you're facing right now, and ask yourself, what might this be preparing me for? Because it's preparing you for greatness in one way or another. Even the small lessons stacked on top of each other lead to who you're going to be and the way that you're going to face the world. I cannot emphasize enough how looking for the positive, even in something negative, is going to benefit you. Not only in that instance that you're dealing with, but in your outlook for life. So if you want bonus homework, share your story with somebody else. You never know who needs your voice when they're in the valley. Don't undersell yourself and how much you can be a positive impact on those around you. And when you need to be lifted up, find a positive person that you can reach out to, that they can uplift you. Adversity is going to happen. It's going to happen. Problems occur. I don't care if it's that your dishwasher broke. It doesn't matter what the adversity is. Things are going to happen. They're usually going to feel like they happen at the worst possible time as well. And sometimes they do. But that's okay. Because if you follow the steps that I talked about earlier, you let yourself feel it. I personally give myself, it depends on the level of adversity, I try not to give myself more than 24 hours to just be mad and depressed and upset about something. If it's a smaller problem, I may cut it down to as little as an hour. But I do make sure that I let myself feel it. For me, anyway, if I don't let myself feel it, I'm going to feel it some other time. I want to get that part out of the way. That might not be what works for you, but that's what works for me. So, adversity may try to break you, but with the right mindset, it actually builds you. And sometimes the very thing you think is taking you off course is actually the thing that's preparing you for something greater. It might divert you from the path that you thought you were supposed to be on to the path that you were destined to be on. Adversity is not always a bad thing. Usually always feels like it, but it's not necessarily always a bad thing. Next time on Beyond the Blueprint, we're going to talk about it's okay to say no, and it's okay not to finish that book. You'll hear more about that then, but you guys have heard me talk about books a lot in previous episodes, and you don't have to finish the book. If you're not getting anything out of it, I'll talk more about that then. I don't want to do the episode now, but that'll be our next time. It's okay to say no. Guard your time, and it's okay not to finish the book. You have to be the ultimate guard of your time and who has access to you. Thank you so much for joining me today on this episode. I really appreciate you spending the time and taking the time to hang out with me. Until next time, be kind to one another. Hold the line. Keep showing up. And don't forget, I believe in you. Write that down. Thanks so much for listening. Please follow our show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And write us a review. We'd love to get your feedback. Beyond the Blueprint is sponsored by Galactic Performance Solutions. It's written and researched by yours truly, Gary Cornwell. Producing and editing is done by the team at Resonate Recordings. Until next time, remember, you do have the answers. You just have to make the effort to find them. I believe in you.